Well, hello everyone, and thank you guys for watching. Classic Bike Rider here, bringing you a new video. I haven't made a riding to work video in a while. This Friday, the 23rd of August, and this is it, fellas, guys and gals. This is it. Final weeks of August. Traffic is winding down. Very light traffic going into work, so I mean the end is near. The end of summer as we know it. Hampton summer, at least. We continue work until like the early weeks of November. We be closing pools. We don't start closing pools until the second week of September, because we still clean out the pools that are open and people still come out, some of them. Surely people with heated pools, they like to enjoy the pools until the early weeks of October. So yeah, here we are. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, over here it was stop and go traffic. This past couple of weeks, it's just been a nice smooth sailing from home all the way out to work. So I hope everybody's week was good. I couldn't work yesterday because my wife had I don't know if I mentioned in any of the videos before, she has a fractured foot. On the top of her foot, she went to get up. She had one of those rain hard plastic shoes on. She went to get up and she said she felt like a strong, like piercing pain. She had to sit there for a second, waiting to catch her breath, because the pain was so sharp that it just left her breathless. That day her foot swelled up. She had like a little bruise on top of her foot. I even mentioned to her, you might have fractured the top of your foot. Those plastics and those shoes are really hard. And if your bones are, like most women after 50, their calcium in the bones go down dramatically, and she is diabetic, so her bones are inherently more shallow than most women. So I just said to her, you might have a fracture on top of the foot, but I ain't a doctor. She went to her regular doctor. He gave her some blood thinners just in case it was a blood clot, and some muscle relaxers, and that was it. But her pain continued and continued and continued. 2.5 weeks later, which was Sunday, she couldn't barely move. She will take a step and she will almost cry. I had to almost carry her. I ended up driving her into the ER. They did some x-rays, CAT scan, and a sonogram. And yep, she had a hair fracture in the top of her foot. It was a clean fracture, so she didn't need it to be cast. They did. Finally, I took her yesterday to a orthopedics, and they prescribed one of those soft cast, those boots that they put on people. So she had to wear that for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And a walker, she can put any weight into that foot. So I couldn't work yesterday. So I'm expecting today to work late. So I started my first podcast. I don't know if a lot of you know what podcast is. A podcast is like kind of like a radio show, but on the internet, and it's made so you can download it and listen to it at your leisure. But it's only dedicated to my Spanish-speaking fellows and fellas. The Spanish language podcast about technology. My subject. I love technology, especially newscasts like technology news that happened during the week. I started it on Monday. I made my first. See, years ago. I say must to be in 2010, 2011. I've been listening to podcasts since like 2006 or 2007. Late 2006, 2007, I started listening to podcasts. I discovered podcasts after getting my younger son his first iPod. It was that back in the days with the iPod Nano, those thin ones with the screen. He wanted one for Christmas, so we got him one for Christmas. And because back in those days it needed to be synced with the computers, I sync it with my computer. So I ended up having to get iTunes, putting some songs in it. And I started looking for music in iTunes, and I discovered podcasts, and I discovered one by this fellow named Leo Laporte, which was called The Tech Guy. And it was a radio show, a guy from California, a radio show in California, a radio show about people calling in with the computer problems, and he's trying to solve the problems on the air. So they ask him, they tell him the symptoms, and he might, give them the right answer, or he might, and most of the time, he just tell them what he thinks the problem might be and steer him in some direction. And he's been putting those shows out since 2004. So I downloaded all the back catalog of the Tech Guy radio show and listened to them. And I've been listening to them ever since. Then he also discovered he had a podcast about Windows. Since I moved on and discovered the Hackintosh that I talked about in another of my videos, I started listening to podcasts about Apple. Back in those days, there was one podcast that I used to listen to by a guy named Victor Cajiao. I don't remember the name of the podcast. And when Victor Cajiao decided that he couldn't make the show no more because his health was declining, I moved on to one of his favorite podcasts that he had on one of his friends, what's it called? Maccast. That's the name of the podcast. So I've been listening to that since 2008, 2009 era. And back in 2010, 2011, I said that I wanted to try to make my own podcast. I went and bought from Best Buy a USB headphone with microphone, a headset, which was a USB, which is a good quality because it's digital all the way around. And I said that I was going to make my podcast, and that was as far as it went. I got the microphone, took it to my house, and because I was hardly ever alone, my podcast never went anywhere. I ended up throwing out the headphones the other day. After all those years, they finally, they were still working, but the microphone, it was a boom. It broke, and one of the ear muff wasn't working well. So I ended up going back to Best Buy, buying a new one, inexpensive one, same type of deal, USB headset with the microphone. And on Saturday, I was listening to the Tech Guy podcast. Someone called about making their own podcast, and boy, it's raining. I'm gonna have to take my camera off because I don't have the side door on it. I don't want it to shut out. So a guy called and actually report he wanted to start his own podcast for his business or for his company, and he mentioned one of the platforms that lets you record your own podcast, upload it. They host the podcast themselves. You can do everything on the app. So I downloaded the app and tested out, and on Tuesday, on my way to work, I recorded my first episode. It's like a 13-minute, was it 13-minute? Yeah, like a 13-minute long episode of me talking about the news, what happened last week in the news, tech news. Yesterday, after I came back with my wife, she went to her daughter's house, so I was completely alone at my house, and I decided to try my second podcast. So it's already live, 2 episodes. Tomorrow, Saturday, if I don't work, so I'm gonna have to work tomorrow because I missed yesterday, I might put another episode with more news. So yeah, Spanish speaking podcast about technology news. It's called Notas de Tecnología con Carlos, which means technology notes with Carlos. It's not really notes, it's news briefs, kinda. The second episode was 11. It's funny, 11 minutes episode, and it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to produce, because I had to keep stopping and edited it, taking out some clips and bips and a bunch of stuff. But this is live. It's already live on Spotify podcast. It's already live on Pocket Cast. I submitted to Apple iTunes. So one of the hosts that I chose is supposedly they upload them to iTunes themselves. So I don't know, I think it might be wet. So we'll see how it goes. My first very podcast. I love technology, so I figure I try. Anyway, I'm gonna pull over somewhere over here and take my camera off and put it away because I don't want it to get wet and get damaged. Let me see, where can I pull off? I don't want to pull off in any of these driveways. Okay, I'll turn into this side road and do it right here, and then I can turn around right here too. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright guys, the afternoon. This morning I couldn't record anymore because it wrestled all the way in, so I didn't want to get my camera wet. I gotta stop for gas. He actually drizzled just about all day. Something broke out of my helmet. Shit. Alright, it was the retaining nut for the visor. Just came undone. That's weird. Never happened before. Surely I don't mind if it breaks. I want to get me a new helmet anyways. Luckily it happened just now. So at the beginning, like March, last time I went to the doctor for physical, I was weighing at 270 pounds, which I said, no, I need to lose some weight. I didn't want to get that heavy again. When I used to drive trucks, tractor trailers, I got to be 290 pounds. So I've been taking Dexatrim. There's two kinds. The Dexatrim black, they have it locked up behind the glass at Walmart. And there's Dexatrim Stream. In the beginning of the year, I was taking Dexatrim black. And the second jar, when it ran out, I went and got the cheaper kind, which not that cheap either, but the kind that they didn't have locked up behind the glass. Yesterday when I went to the orthopedist with my wife, when they pull us in the office, inside the office, they had a scale there. And I weighed myself 252 pounds from 270. I was so happy. so happy. A lot of people had told me that they see me that I lost a lot of weight. A lot of people have complimented me already, so yay for me. Surely when I'm done with work in November, I might subscribe to the gym so I can keep the weight off. I wanna set myself a goal. I want it to be 240 pounds at least by December. Keep losing it. And the next month I had to lose another 10 pounds, 12 pounds. That'll be my goal, 240. I haven't weighed 240 since like 1992, 93. Oh my goodness. Wow, that long. The funny thing is, I got to be at one point I was 44 waist pants, but very shortly, for a very short period of time. Then I lost weight, dropped back down to a 42, and been mostly 42 for most of my adult life. 42 inch. The other day I put on a pair of swimming shorts that I wear around the house and sometimes when I go out, and these things were falling off me, and I take them off and I was like, shit, was I that big? Because they are giant. Woo-wee. Anywho, I gotta stop for gas. Actually, the air feels good, not too humid. In fact, today the temperature didn't come up from the mid-70s. Every single pool that we went to, even without heater, they were like 80 degrees and they felt warm. So yeah, all right. I'll catch you guys back up in a little bit. So I was gonna stop for gas, but I figured tomorrow I'm off. I can do my my usual Saturday ride to Riverhead, get breakfast, and get gas. Gonna be a pain because tomorrow my wife's gonna be home. She can work with that foot like that, the soft cast. She can't clean the house. Maybe she can go with her sister. The sister doesn't work. She can help her clean out the house. We'll see. We shall see. Surely today feels like a late September day rather than late November day. I mean late August day. Just because the chill is in the air. The fall chill is in the air. This stretch of roads are horrible. Starting right there that I just passed, and it goes down all the way down 114. Horrible. And this is like one of the richest towns, Sauk Harbor. It surely got some rich folks, some freaking giant jets, giant yachts. Boats, giant boats, okay? Sorry about my bad accent. What I mean is that they got so much rich people living in Sauk Harbor, but yet the road sucks. Totally sucks. You see what I mean? Giant potholes. Luckily I know what they all are. With the bike, I seldom fall into their freaking potholes. With the car, there's no way to avoid it. Uh-oh, where'd that guy going? I mean, it's a two-way street, but... got you guys back in a little bit. Well, I might have to get a little bit of gas after all. I don't want to run it down too low. It's freaking Friday! Friday, Friday, Friday! So I'm not gonna move after all. So I know I mentioned in my other video I was gonna rent a house, Flanders. It was gonna be $2,500. Then the person that was supposed to move in with us, they backed out. They said that they couldn't afford it. So in turn, we couldn't afford it because we would not be able to pay $2,500 by ourselves. On Monday, I texted the lady that helped us out. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to take the house because I'm not gonna be able to afford it. She called me. She texted me. Why? I texted back and said, well, we thought that we could afford it. We had someone that was gonna move in with us, but they decided, they changed their mind that they weren't gonna move in with us at all. They couldn't afford it. So she said, call me. She texted me, call me. So I called her back. She tells me, you know, we talk it over, the partners, said the partners, quote, want you guys because you know, you got good reference. My boss said that she talked highly of me, and I'm sure my wife boss talked highly of her as well. They said they were gonna drop it down to $2,300. Said, can you do $2,300 cash? And but cash is fine with you? And I was like, sure, why not? So we called back the guy that was gonna move in with us, and I said, listen, we got the lady to drop the rent out to $2,300 because him and his daughter. So both of you can pay $575, and that'll be $1,200. That'll be your half of the rent, and then you guys can give us $25 each to help out for the light, the electricity. They say okay. So Wednesday, the lady texted me and said, "Carlos, are you gonna take the house, right? You sure you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I want it. In fact, I was gonna text you when I got home. Would you like to meet tomorrow in the morning so I can give you the deposit?" I was gonna take out the deposit from our savings and give it a $2,300 security deposit, and also that way we can get a copy of the key from you so we can start moving stuff in. So on the first, it won't be so hard on us. She sent me back a message saying, well, tomorrow is not gonna be good because I gotta be out of my house. I gotta be out by 9 o'clock. If you can make it before 9, that would be great. And I don't think we can let you start moving stuff in because we're still doing stuff to the house. Which I reply, okay. Bank doesn't open until 9 o'clock, so I guess it's gonna be Saturday. I can meet you Saturday anytime during the day and give you the deposit. And I wrote, too bad you can't let us move stuff in. Which she replied back, we can't let you take possession of the key until we get your first month rent and your security deposit. At which I replied back, hey, it's alright, I understand. Sorry if I came out across the wrong way. I didn't mean it that way, but I understand. Anyway, how about Saturday? I can meet you Saturday for give you the security deposit. And the next text that I got is Carlos, sorry to tell you, the partner decided they are gonna hold off on the rent in the house for a while, so they're not gonna rent it to us, at least. Which I was kind of relieved because it was gonna be a big step. It's gonna be more money. We weren't ready to ditch out that much money in rent, but the landlord hasn't been here in the past 2 weeks. He goes out to work in the city. We haven't seen him. My stepdaughter did said I can keep the bike there when I'm not using it. So in the winter, late November, when I get ready to store it, I'll keep it at my stepdaughter's house. But for now, I'm driving it. I'm riding it. He don't own this street. So yeah. So any of you who lives in Long Island, close to the Hamptons, Riverhead area, knows anybody renting a house, you can sure let me know. I'll be, it's funny, we've been looking at Facebook Marketplace, and there's this guy posted apartment for rent, 2.5 bathrooms, and then 1,800 everything included. So we send them a private message like you can on Facebook and say, we interested, is it still available? He replies back, yes, it's 2 bedrooms. One is $950 with a private bathroom, and the other one is 8 something without the bathroom. And I was like, wait, I thought you said an apartment with 2 bedrooms. And he goes, no, it's just 2 bedrooms, each separately. That's what you call bait and switch, man, or clickbait. Clickbait. It's okay. This is the usual Friday afternoon lineup. Not that bad. Like I said this morning, traffic is really light. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of gas over here, and tomorrow I fill her up in Riverhead. Gonna put like $5 so I can get enough to get to Riverhead. Been using the Shell, across the Shell station that is a 7-Eleven across from the Costco over there. That's got the cheapest price in Riverhead, even cheaper than the new BJ's gas. Alright guys, I'll be back. Actually went up quite a bit with $2 gallons, with $6.75. Come on, dude, you step on it. You wouldn't even think that noise does annoy me. The little vibration of the key and the handlebar. Woo! They say that when you get older, your hearing changes and you don't hear well. Well, I heard that. I was hearing that. It was annoying me. I was gonna take the backwards way of the way I come every morning through here, but there's usually nothing on this side. So there's been some talks in the news, the technology news, about Apple having some customer stirred, some customers, iPhone owners. Turns out if you own an Apple 10, iPhone 10, 10X, 10X Max, the newest phone, if you have the battery change, by anyone other than Apple, in the settings, when you go to battery health, you get a warning saying that this is not a genuine Apple battery, and you don't get access to the battery health information. The phone will still work the same, and the battery will still charge and work the same. You just get that message in the settings of the battery. Some people are up in arms about this because there's a movement said right to repair, and we all know most iPhones and Apple devices are hermetically sealed, that no one can open it unless it's a repair shop, and they charge you a pretty penny for it. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't own an iPhone. I was thinking of getting me one, or the newest one, but I don't own an iPhone. So what if the battery is damaged? It's iPhone 10, I think that was last year's version. They should still be on the warranty, until Apple warranty. If the battery goes bad, just bring it back to Apple. They give you a new battery for free. You don't need to take it to a third-party repair shop. You only do that if you have the iPhone for 2 to 5 years, 3 years or more, and the battery goes bad. But it's only like 2 years old. I mean, yeah, last year's phone. It should still be under Apple warranty. Even if you bought the phone second-handed, you still can take it to Apple and it'll still be cheaper to get the battery replaced. I don't know why people make sensationalization of news out of nothing. That's the media for you. Clickbait, like I said before, clickbait. Now that more and more, anywhere you look on the internet, you get ads, and they follow you around your phone. If you do a look for something in one of the browsers on the internet, in the phone, in your phone, cell phone, then when you get ads, like in Facebook or Instagram, you get ads showing you those same articles that you were looking for, those same items that you were looking for. And there's no way to stop it. This is the world that we live in. Alright, I'll catch you guys back up in a little bit. This helmet is getting bigger on me. Time to change. And time to go a different way. This truck's going with that tractor up in the top. And I'm sure Montauk Highway is going to be a slowdown. Bring it back up in a little bit. Alright, light change. Yellow trees, dead leaves, sign that the times are changing. Nice coolie. Nice coolies. It's alright, I can say it. I'm married, but she had a nice coolie. Look at them leaves, dead leaves. Woo. Dead leaves. Alright, this is boring. I got you guys up in a little bit. So I figure I'd take a nice highway run. I haven't ridden the highway in a while. So I'm gonna put my dirty face shield on. Super dirty face shield. And taking a nice highway run to Hamptons base. I'll be back. So it is proven that taking shortcuts sometimes not the fastest way. I just saw a car that it was in front of me out of Montauk Highway, the Subaru, blue Subaru, right? I did all those turns, went through town, came over here, and the car just went by. If I would have stayed and faced the traffic, I would still be in the same spot because I'm catching up to it. It's not that far off up here. So I didn't save any time at all. If anything, I wasted more time going around, taking shortcuts, thinking that I'm moving faster and not really moving faster. I mean, if I would have been going the opposite direction of Montauk Highway, maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Alright, here we go. Shit. This fucking road sucks. Another lump. Ugh. This road got more lumps than my grandmother's cornbread soup. I have to think about that one. Shit. Got more lumps than my grandmother's cornbread soup. I don't even know if that's such a thing. Cornbread soup. Oh my god. It's Friday. Friday. Gotta enjoy the weekend. I'm happy because I'm still able to ride my baby. At least for another 2 months. Well, that depends on the winter. Oh, it's been a while. I haven't driven through here. It's been a while. Come on, Hampton GPT. These guys are idiots. Those bus drivers are idiots. Idiots. I can see a tractor trailer had to lock up on his brakes. I hate those lumps. Two more. That Infinity surely got someone heavy in the back. Oh, the back air shocks, the airbags are broken, not lifting up. The air suspension. All right, almost home. Almost. One day I was coming through here and I saw a coyote running across. A coyote. Those things are ugly. The Wile E. Coyote says, "Your mother is ugly." Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Any suggestion, you can post it down below. This is Classic Byrider signing off. Well, not quite yet. Alright. I don't like this. It's a hole. Alright. See ya.